All right, if you're an agent that is looking for inspiration about what's possible, boy, have I got an episode for you today. I have Taley Hunt with me. She's going to share with you her journey over the last 4 years, where she's gone from starting in this business to closing over. We'll be in excess of 200 transactions this year. You're not going to miss this episode. It's going to give you some things you can put into practice immediately. All right, Taley, this is an interview that I am absolutely excited to do because the first time I met you, we were just kind of talking about how your journey and also some of the things that you've done to really build what I would consider most agents would say would be the business of their dreams. So, if you don't mind, tell people a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and where you serve, and then a little bit about your journey, if you don't mind.
Of course, yeah. My name's Taley Hunt. I am a real estate agent in Columbia, South Carolina. That's where I live and work. We moved here 5 years ago from North Carolina. I'm from a little town by the name of Pembroke, North Carolina. My husband and I moved here with the military 20 years ago. He was stationed at Fort Jackson and then PCS to Shaw Air Force Base. And when we first moved here, I was working in higher education and I quit my 9 to 5. I was making like $41,000 a year working in higher ed because it was the era of COVID and state budgets were frozen and things were just rapidly changing. I decided that higher education was no longer a good fit for me. It was hard to find a job at the time. And someone tells me to get into real estate, as if it's like the easiest thing to do and you can just accomplish all your wildest dreams. I had no clue what I was getting into. The county that I grew up in is the poorest county in North Carolina. So talking about wealth and owning property and all the things was just not a common conversation. And so I really had no clue what I was doing. But I get into real estate. I get my license. The day of my licensing exam, I took a pregnancy test, found out I was pregnant with my daughter, who's now 4. She turned 4 in March this year. And I just start hustling. And hustling, I think, is like an arbitrary term, right? Like, what does that actually mean? But I was just going in blind and messy and trying to figure it out. At the time, because of the ecosystem and where we were in terms of COVID and interest rates and all the things happening, there wasn't a lot of open houses or door knocking or things like that. But I knew that what I could do, just like anybody else who's listening to this, is get on my phone and put myself out there into the world. So I did that. Um, I sold my first house in February 2021. I had my daughter in March. I sold 28 homes that year, 86 the next year, 145 the next year. And year to date, my team has sold 110 properties, sold or pended 110 properties. So it's going good.
You think? That's amazing. Listen, what I love about this story is that you just made it happen. And the way that your authenticity and just sharing who you are, I think you and I talked about it. Maybe you could share a little bit about that. When you first started doing, I mean, you've got a brand new baby. I mean, what did that look like out there selling 28 houses with a brand new baby and you're trying to document this journey online? What did that look like?
Oh, it looked messy. When I first started, it was
See,
messy. It was insane. It was exhausting. I was broke. We were using my commissions to pay debt. So it's not like I had a lot of money to spend on online paid leads, and I didn't. I got on social media every single day and I shared with everyone everything that I was doing. I have this photo of me sitting at my desk with my daughter in her little rocker.
who's
Yeah, like a
okay?
little thing that sits right beside me. And I'm just sitting at my desk working on content while she's sitting on top of the desk with me, probably 2 weeks old at the most. I never stopped. I just made it happen. And I really want people to understand that even if you don't have the training, the resources, the experience, the money, the more people that know who you are and can get connected to your story and your why and what it is you're passionate about, the more people really want to see you win. So I was sharing all the time that I was the realtor mom who was kind of lost, trying to figure it out. And here's my goal of selling this many houses this year. Here's what I know. Here's what I'm good at. Who can I help? And building a brand like that, which at the time I didn't even know what I was doing, but building a brand like that started to attract the right people to me. And they were so supportive. And I was able to pour back into that community and help them. And then they turn around and help me too.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Taylor, share a little bit about kind of the type of content because I think that's the thing is I think especially a lot of people when they first get in the business, they're like afraid to share that they're new or they're afraid to share that they're trying to figure things out. And in reality, that authenticity drew your exact client that you were looking for, and they connected with you differently than somebody that just wants to post the perfect photo of them in their perfect little outfit. What did some of that content look like? If you can get kind of specific, and was there one that maybe jumped out and you were like, whoa, I may have something here? Or was it just kind of gradual?
So it was a mixture of things. I think one of the smartest things that any real estate agent can do, whether they're new or have been in the business for 10 years, is to document everything that they do. If you have one transaction going on, and even if you don't, whatever it is you're doing that day, there is a world of possibilities for you to be able to take what you are doing in real life and make it content. If you are visiting new construction sites for a client, taking a selfie of you at that property and sharing it and telling Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, this is what I'm doing. Come with me to go do this. Or here I am at this model home. Do you want to know more information about what they have? Recording yourself at the model home, showing them a tour. Those were all the things that I was doing. If I had one client, I took a picture before the consultation and I shared online that I was doing a consultation. I shared a recap of how it was. When we went out to look at houses, I took photos of the houses and took my audience along with me. Here's house 1, 2, 3, and 4 that we toured. At inspections, I have my daughter with me. I would take pictures of me and my daughter in my car and say, we're going to inspections today, me and my little assistant. So I literally just documented everything that I was doing. And it doesn't matter if you are brand new or a veteran in the business, you can do the same thing. You just have to take the activities that you think of as mundane and everyday activities that any other real estate agent is doing and put it out there so that people know that you're active in the business and you're active in the market. And that positions you as a thought leader in your own local market, whether you believe it or not. I also would Google things like, what do home buyers want to know? And then I would answer the questions online. Um, Once I started to get clients, I would notice that some of the questions they asked were very repetitive. And so I would write them down and then I would create content online answering the questions because I knew if those people had those questions, so did other people. So I wasn't out here, selling 100 houses a year in year one by any means, but I took the properties and the deals that I did have or the opportunities that I had and the activities that I had, and I turned them into content every day.
Yeah, no, this is so good. What was that like? If somebody was doing that now, is it Instagram stories? Is it TikTok? I mean, you've used Facebook. I mean, were there different types of content for each, or you just kind of blasted it all everywhere?
So my Instagram was connected to my Facebook. So anything I posted on Instagram, it automatically went on Facebook. I did stories all day long. Every single time I did an activity, I took 2 seconds to stop and take a photo of me doing it, or a selfie of me wherever I was, or some sort of candid shot. And even if I didn't post it right then, I think it's important to grab and document while you're doing it and post it later on with a summary of what you've done that day. One thing that I always have done is I wake up in the morning and take some sort of photo, whether it's my cup with coffee or juice or a selfie in the mirror, and I say, here's what I have on my schedule today. So showing people that I'm actively doing things. I also think that you can mix it up, right? Post them on your stories, but also take the same thing you post on your stories and put it on your Facebook wall. There's no rule that says you can't double dip. All of it is content. And even if all you're doing is searching for houses in the MLS and you're just trying to get familiar, say that. Like spending some time digging into the MLS to see what new properties are available. Put your email address in this box if you want me to send you a list of homes that went on the market today. Anything
Yeah.
that you can do to show people that you have value to provide to them.
Yeah, it's so good. Listen, you've done some things pretty unique as well, is because as you've grown this business, which you did completely organically, you began to see some momentum with the referrals. Was that purposeful, or explain kind of what your business looks like now as far as mix of referrals and online leads, and if you don't mind, and then how did you get that ball rolling on the referral side?
So I think of it as the 3 R's: relationships, referrals, and reputation. How do you have a really good relationship with the clients that you're working with, the community that you live in, the database that you own, in such a way that they want to send you referrals and that you build up a really good reputation and relationship within that world so that they can continue to feed your business. When I first started, my very first client came from an agent referral on a Facebook group where somebody was asking for an agent in Columbia, South Carolina. I had no clue what I was doing, but I put myself out there anyway and said, basically, please pick me. I can help. I live here. And that client sent me their friend. When they realized that the friend that they worked with needed to buy a house, I had done such a good job taking care of them that they thought about me and passed my name off before we had even closed on the deal. So my first two closings came from an agent referral, and then my very first client sending me another referral. That's when I realized that it is so important to make sure that you're getting deals from the deals that you already have and creating relationships with the people around you so that they will send you more deals. Creating community has been huge for me. Once I realized that agent referrals could be a big source of business for me, I got active and involved in Facebook groups all across the internet that were specifically designed for real estate agents. I had nothing else to do but be on my phone and my computer. So I would stalk them all day long. And I would also search for Columbia, South Carolina in these groups, and I would connect with agents who had previously sent out referrals to my area. I would introduce myself and let them know that if there's anything that I can do, I know you've sent business to this area before, I'm happy to help you and pass along my information. Um, my clients, when I would see people in local Facebook groups asking for real estate agent recommendations, I would send them the link to the post and say, could you please recommend me here? And just ask them, and I would also straight up say, do you have any people that you know that may need my services? I would love to help them. It means so much to me. So when it comes to referrals of any kind, closed mouths don't get fed. You got to ask for the business. You got to find it, you got to seek it out. And then when you get it, you have to treat them so good that those people are like, I want everybody to use this person. And I realized that being able to stay in constant relationship with our clients would up the probability that they would send us people. If I have a client that closed with us 5 years ago, chances are I've already spoken to them twice this year because we constantly stay in touch through community and client events and through database management.
Hey, let's talk about both of those. Let's start with the database management. What does that look like for you? Is it something that is systematic, or is it as you? So, what does that look like?
Yep, I'll tell you exactly what my playbook is. So,
Yeah.
super simple. What is hard is that people sometimes just don't do it, right? So, DTD2, I follow the DTD2 system,
Mhm.
which is a tagging system inside of any CRM. Whatever place you house all of your business and your contacts, you can do DTD2. By using that system, it guarantees that I speak to every single closed client at least 4 times a year. And I personally text people. There's a lot of people that recommend calling people, but I don't want anybody to call me. And so I don't call people. I just text them and check in
Right.
with them. I also send out a newsletter every single week to my entire database, and it has local event news. It has highlights from content that I've posted that week, redirecting them to our social media pages, and it has information about the market. So we're talking about things that are happening in the community, content that I'm putting out there, and things they need to know about real estate. And it's not like we're necessarily trying to convert a lot of people from that. We're just trying to make sure that we're top of mind. So you're seeing my name at least once a week, hearing from me at least 4 times a year. And we're also doing happy birthday, happy home anniversary, and at least 5 or 6 client events a year.
Yeah. Hey, for those that don't know DTD2, if you will explain that to them, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so it's a tagging system that goes based on the first letter of your last name. For example, the first week of every quarter, you're supposed to contact the people in your database that have a last name that starts with A and W. And every single week has a different set of letters. Well, there's 13 weeks in a quarter, so you do that multiple different times, and that puts you at talking to every single person in your database 4 times a year. I think my math is right on that.
No, it's absolutely right. No, that's great. That's a great explanation where people can understand exactly how to utilize that. And again, a lot of it is the execution side. And from that standpoint, I think that's one of the things areas you've really shined at is the execution and continuing to focus on those three R's. Speaking of that, and those relationships, talk to me about kind of client appreciation events. What does that look like for you? Because I know that's played a big part as well.
Yeah, it is. I started doing client appreciation events in year 2, and I realized that it wasn't about how many people came. It's more about the touch, right? Inviting them to the event, saying thank you for coming, and asking them, or if they don't come, turning around and saying, we missed you. We hope to see you at the next one. That allows us to touch them multiple times. We send out an automated text message, we send out an automated email, a reminder for the people who have registered. And then once we see them, we get some good face to face time with them. We do a few core ones every single year. So every spring we do an Easter egg hunt for our clients, which is great. We have a lot of people come out to that. We also do a movie day. We actually have that coming up this Saturday where we rent out an entire room in a movie theater and invite people to watch a movie on us. This time it's Lilo and Stitch. We will do a fall festival, kind of like a fun day where we'll have vendors come out and set up. We'll do inflatables, food trucks, ICs, and invite everybody to come out and have a good, fun 2 or 3 hours on us. We give away pies at Thanksgiving, and we also do a Santa Claus photo shoot every single December.
Yeah. Hey, so this is great. So the agent out there that may be just getting overwhelmed thinking about the process of this, how do you leverage, maybe partners in those things, or what does it look like to make those things happen?
100%. So if 5 events a year is too much, start with one. And maybe
Good.
just do one in the summer or one in the fall and call it your annual real estate group event that you're going to do. Totally okay. And as you get used to doing that, add in some more. But one is good, like one is better than anything else. And then I encourage you to leverage vendor partners. Ask a mortgage lender to sponsor, ask your homeowner's insurance people to sponsor, any inspectors that you use, anybody that you're regularly doing business with, or people and businesses in the community that can benefit from what you're putting together. Ask them to come be present and financially coordinate all of this with you. We do not pay for everything. We leverage our sponsors because we're working in business with them often. And the more business we do, the more business they do. The more involved we are with our database, the more business we do. So it is a win-win for everybody. And it's also about making a plan. Don't just up and decide to do it in 2 weeks. Give yourself some time to execute. By the end of this year, we will know the event dates for the entire 2026 calendar because we want to be able to plan them a couple months in advance so that we're not rushing at the last minute to do it.
Absolutely. Hey, if you only could do one event this year, which one would you do?
If I could only do one event, it would be photos with Santa Claus because we also make it a toy drive. And I think that that showcases our values as a real estate team, as well as gives them something tangible to take home with them.
Yeah. Hey, Telly, another thing that I love that you've done is obviously by sharing your journey as a realtor mom, and everything, it's really created this sense of community where how did that start and what does it look like now? Because I think that is something that is just pretty amazing the way that you've been able to really, encourage other agents. I mean, I think this is a tough business for a lot of people right now, and it's not just about the deals we're doing, it's about the people we're affecting. And so can you share a little bit about how that came about and what it looks like now?
Building a brand as a successful mom in real estate was not intentional or purposeful. It was totally accidental. It was just me completely showing up in a way that felt authentic to me. And I may have had some sort of advantage of not understanding the market and the real estate industry before I started. A lot of people, I've had moms tell me that they hide the fact that they're a mom or never post their kids out of fear of how clients or potential clients would feel about it. And I never even thought about that. I've never even thought about how people would feel about the fact that I have a daughter and that I'm a mom. It is just who I am. And as a mom in real estate, you are never just 100% a mom or 100% a real estate agent. You are constantly walking in both worlds. And it is just so much a part of my identity that I shared it all of the time. I took pictures pregnant walking around new construction homes. I took videos of me showing property with, like, 8 months pregnancy belly going on. I took a selfie as we were going into the hospital for me to give birth, and I shared it online. After I had my baby, on the way to her first appointment, I stopped by a new construction property to check on it for my client, and I took a picture out there. It was just a constant documentation of, this is who I am and this is what I'm doing. And I really deeply believe that people who don't like it won't hire you. The people who do like it will hire you and will love you for it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just always been about showing up as exactly who I am. And the magic of that is that the right people and the universe will send you who is supposed to be in your world. And what I believe has happened for me is that unknowingly my story has inspired a lot of other people, which is something that everybody needs to keep in mind. You have no clue whether or not the journey that you're going on will turn into inspiration from someone else. And I may not be the best agent in the world, and I may not be everything to everyone, but I'm exactly who I wanted to be 2 years ago. And I'm really proud of that. And I think everybody should think about it that way.
Yeah, no, this is so good. And Taylor, I will tell you, it is inspirational. And I think authenticity always is inspirational, because it does. It inspires the people it's supposed to inspire, it encourages those it's supposed to encourage, and it attracts the ideal client that you've been looking for. Based on that, if you could go back and tell yourself 4 years ago when you were pregnant belly out there getting those first 20 ones, 20 homes sold, if you could go back and tell yourself something, what would you do to encourage you? Because I think there's probably a lot of people that are going to hear this, because the ideal person is going to hear this, that maybe the business has been a little tough, or maybe they're in the business new and they're trying to figure this thing out, and they just need to know that there is a light at the end of this tunnel. What would you say to yourself and to those folks?
The things that you struggle with right now will be the things that you help other people get through one day. I sometimes talk to my real estate coach about the things that we're facing in the market and the struggles that I face as a team leader. And he says to me, all the things that you're learning and growing through will be things that you get to help other people with one day. And 4 years ago, I just wanted to sell 10 houses a year. 4 years ago, I just wanted to match my husband's Army salary. And now it's June 3rd, and we've already crossed $1 million in GCI, pinned and closed this year. And I could not have even imagined that 4 years ago. So if I could go back and tell myself anything, it would be, you will be so far and above the dreams and goals that you have. You can't even dream that big. So you just got to keep going. The people who succeed are the people who don't stop when everybody else would.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people stopping right now. And I think this is such a timely interview. And I just can't thank you enough. Look, I've been doing this a long time. And when we find people like you, you're just a light to the industry. You're a light to encourage those that are out there. And I just cannot wait. I mean, if this is what you can do in 4 years, I cannot wait to see what God's got for you over the next 10 to 15 years. It's going to be an amazing time. So listen, if people wanted to reach out to you, you know what's funny about this? If you remember, the first time that we talked, literally, we were talking about all the referrals you were getting, and I hang up the phone and I get on the phone with another friend of mine, and he says, "Hey, do you happen to know anybody in Columbia, South Carolina?" I said, "Actually, I do." And so literally I called you right back and I had a referral for you. So I know there's going to be some agents out there that are this is just going to hit at the right time. If they wanted to follow you or they had a referral, what's the best way for them to get up with you?
Yes, just follow me on Instagram at Realtor Mom Coach. I'm happy to help. I'm the only person that manages my social media. So if you DM me, I promise you it will be me that DMs you back, not just some random assistant. And I'm happy to help in any way that I can.
Great stuff, Taley. Reach out and let Taley know how much you appreciate this, the inspiration, and also the actual steps that you can take in your business. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.